You know, I finally figured out why I like wireless security cameras so much. It's because when I was in university, I used to install wired security cameras in retail stores. So I can appreciate just how far we've come. Hi everybody, it's Andy Barrar, aka Handy Andy, your DIY tech guy. Today I'm doing a review for Best Buy's blog on the D-Link Full HD Outdoor Pro Wi-Fi camera. Now this is the second D-Link wireless camera that I've reviewed. The other one had a spotlight on it. So this one doesn't. It does have infrared to give you night vision up to 16 feet. It can produce 1080p video quality, and everything can be viewed from your smartphone. So I'm really interested to see how this compares with the Spotlight camera that I reviewed before. So let's go ahead and begin this review by starting with the unboxing. When you take the D-Link Outdoor Pro Wi-Fi camera up for the first time, you're going to notice that you have everything you need for a successful install. Inside, you're going to find the camera itself, the power adapter, screws, wall anchors, quick ties, the installation guide, a support page, and a D-Link security sticker. This security sticker is actually a really nice add because, yeah, sure, you could, watch criminals, but you would rather them not come onto your property, and that sticker is going to be a great deterrent. So now that we've looked at everything inside the box, let's go ahead and talk about the install of the D-Link Outdoor Pro Wi-Fi camera. The first thing you're going to have to do is figure out where you want to put the camera. I decided I want to put it on my deck facing the entrance into the backyard because I have an Airbnb suite and I have guests coming in and out. And by having this camera there, I'll be able to see them enter the property. And as mentioned, I have that other D-Link Outdoor Pro Spotlight camera that watches them go into the suite. So I can do what security people call full continuity. By the time they go in to the property and then into the suite and out, I'll be able to watch that entire flow. In the event that something happens, I'm going to have that footage and I could send it to Airbnb as part of a complaint. So there's a lot of peace of mind going to happen if I can get a successful install. So after I figured out that I wanted on the back deck, I used an app that measures the signal strength of my Wi-Fi. And that's something I recommend everybody do because the last thing you want is a Wi-Fi camera and you got bad Wi-Fi outdoors. So this app will just basically tell you, and mine was getting around 75, 80%. So I knew I was going to be okay with the install. From there, I just had to select this location. And this is where things got really interesting because I assumed that you could install the camera onto a ceiling that would make it upside down and then go into the My D-Link app and then flip that image. Well, I was wrong. You can't do that, or at least I could not find that inside the My D-Link app. So all that time I took to screw it and mount it right onto the ceiling, well, I had to take it all off and find a new location. I did, however, found a rafter that was a 2x4 rafter that I have. And so I screwed it into that, and that allowed it to be positioned the way that the camera wants to be positioned. And so by putting it up there, I was still able to get a successful view of that entrance. And I gotta say, the install is super easy. You just have to screw that thing on and put it on. From there, I hid the wire in the corrugated roof because the last thing you want to see is the security wire, especially if you have a security camera, because someone could go and cut the wire. However, I did plug it into this power bar that is like lower, and it's not ideal because anybody can go and just unplug the camera. But I think in the future, I'm going to get an extension cord and then mount it in an area where you can't unplug it. But the install, I got to say, took about maybe 10 minutes. You're going to need a screwdriver or a drill, preferably, and a ladder, and you should get that up and running in no time. Now that we've done the install, let's just talk about the performance of the camera after setting it up inside the D-Link app. Now, one thing I like about D-Link cameras is this built-in AI, which allows for a feature called person detection. Now, what this is it can tell if a human being is in the field of view rather than, say, a bug or maybe a cat. Well, when I use the other Spotlight camera, the one with the light, it worked fantastic. I was really impressed with that AI, that built-in AI. Every time I got a notification of person detection, it was indeed a person in that view. However, with this Outdoor Pro Wi-Fi camera, I was getting alerts for person detection, which was freaking me out because I was like in bed, and I look and it was a car driving by. And then I was like, okay, I could kind of see it in the top. Then I got another person detection, freaking out again. I open up the footage and guess what? It was a cat going on the deck. So something's going on over here. This person detection is not working. If a cat can flag it, if the light from a car can flag it, something is not right. And I think, this is my theory, I think it's because it doesn't have a light. It's just using that infrared. And I don't think this person detection feature works as well when it's really, really dark out there. But with the other camera, it was fantastic. So what I did, because it's not my first rodeo, okay? I've dealt with a lot of Wi-Fi cameras. I went into the settings and then I reduced the area that would capture motion. So where the car was going, I cut that out. And then I decreased the sensitivity of the motion. On default, it was at 70%. I put it down to about 50%. And so by that, I was getting less of those false positives. However, I'm still getting it. So I'm going to have to just keep adjusting it until the person detection only makes a notification when an actual person comes on to the field of view. I did check the camera at nighttime. I wanted to see how the footage looked because it doesn't have a light on there. And I have to say, it was pretty nice. You know, you can see a lot of great footage of my deck and me walking around at nighttime. The next morning I went on there and I just wanted to see how it looks with light on it. You know, the image quality is fantastic, I have to say. It's a pretty nice camera, 1080p resolution on a Wi-Fi camera. So in terms of that image quality, I think that is a really good plus about this camera. The person detection, I'm not sure what's going on, especially at nighttime. Some weird stuff is happening, but hopefully with this adjustment, I should be able to dial it in so I don't get those false positive notifications. Now that we talked about using the D-Link Outdoor Pro Wi-Fi camera, let me just give you my final thoughts and some things to look out for. Like I mentioned, this is the second D-Link camera that I've installed. And I gotta say, the installation could not be easier. It's probably one of my favorite things about these cameras is that it asks, like, here's a QR code on the manual, scan it. That syncs the camera with your Wi-Fi network, everything. It was just a breeze. So, you know, that's a huge plus. If you don't have to be tech savvy to get this camera up and running inside the app. One thing I'll mention is, and I didn't mention this before, is that there's two ways to store footage. You could use the cloud, or there is a micro SD port, so you could put a micro SD card. If you're going to go micro SD, then I would suggest putting it at 1080p resolution because, you know, you have that storage to have those large video files. If, however, using the cloud, I recommend turning it down to 720p because the thing, it is a security camera. So in the event that you get push notification that there's a person detection, you're going to want to look at it right away. And there's going to be a delay if it's a large video file because it has to go up into the cloud. So I recommend putting it down to 720p if you want to be able to see footage really quickly from the moment that it happened. But again, you could do the live view at any resolution. But if you get that alert, you kind of want to see that footage, and that's why I would recommend doing it on 720p. I mentioned something about this person detection. Something's weird's going on, and I hope they can fix this in the firmware upgrade because at nighttime, a cat literally was going on my deck, and it came up. I don't understand what's going on. That ain't a person. Why? It's not even an alert. It just said person detection, not like motion detection. So something's not right there, and I'm hoping they can fix that because I think it has to do with the light. I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of my theory. I guess a big question a lot of people are going to be asking though is, should I get this camera or the other D-Link camera, the Outdoor Pro Wi-Fi Spotlight camera? If you are getting a security camera to scare people away, say like people from like, you know, breaking into your house, the Spotlight camera is great because it's a deterrent. You know, criminals, they don't like light. When they're like trying to do their thing and the light comes on, they'll likely run away. Now, this camera, the Outdoor Pro Wi-Fi camera from D-Link, is really more for like a discreet camera surveillance system. Now, at nighttime, you can see the infrared, the red infrared. However, if you place it right, people aren't going to spot it like a spotlight camera coming on. So in terms of the image quality of both of them, they're very similar, but you do have a different kind of purpose between the two. And I think this one is actually more affordable than the Spotlight. So that's another thing to consider. Whatever the case may be, getting a wireless security camera is a great investment. Such a nice DIY project. You don't have to pay monthly fees to have that peace of mind, to be able to secure everything, and it could all be done on your smartphone. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review of D-Link's Outdoor Pro Wi-Fi camera. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. If you have any comments, you can leave that in the comment section below and we'll get right back to you. If you want more information about me, you can go to my website, handyandymedia.com. Once again, it's Handy Andy signing off for Best Buy's video blog. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.